Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Where we continue to follow the capture and killing of Osama bin Laden now.
Those are just some of the scenes overnight as thousands of Americans gathered in celebration of Osama bin Laden's death.
Former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill says he has thought about the mission every day since that May Day in 2011.
From multiple conversations you had with Rob O'Neill over the past year and a half, how'd you get
access? And you described that his head kind of exploded when you hit him.
I actually hit him 3 times because I shot him twice when he was standing and once on the ground.
That is the fucking American badass right there.
We are not going for fame and we are not going for bravado. We are going for the single mom who dropped her kids off at elementary school on a Tuesday morning, and then 45 minutes later she jumped to her death out of a skyscraper.
If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
I'm Rob O'Neill, and this is the Operator Podcast. Welcome back to the Operator Podcast. I'm your host, Robert J. O'Neill, former SEAL Team 6 operator. Big week still going on. I did stop back into the studio to rock one out. I don't think I did one last week. I've been traveling a little bit. I went down to Florida for a while to try to play golf. And that game, I think that game's getting harder. It is for me anyway. And I'm wondering if it's like because I'm not swinging every day. I'm trying to figure out the muscle memory of golf. If anyone has any tips, let me know, because it seems like change your grip and then change your stance and then change your grip again and straighten that arm and don't straighten this arm again. There's so much going on there. Yeah, and I think I don't know, man. Hit me up. Because when I got out of the Navy, the psychiatrist with whom I was speaking recommended golf in a not so many words. And she said it would relieve stress. Didn't want me to keep score. And I'm thinking, because it's 2026, so we're looking at 15 years since the bin Laden raid, like 14 years since getting out. Let's call it a solid 10 years of golfing. If you just don't get it and say, fuck it, is that quitting? 10 years. I mean, I know I'm not playing every day, but you get good at it eventually, right? Maybe not. Tell me about your golf game in the comments, because I don't want to talk about it much today. Florida's dope, though. I went to both coasts. I went to the West Coast and the East Coast, and I guess there's a South Coast if you get down to South Beach. 2 coasts on the South Beach, and then the Keys. I'm feeling my phone going off. It does that too for no reason. It'll just do that. I'm feeling the Gulf Coast, the Gulf of America now. I don't think you can surf on the East Coast too well. The East Coast Surfing Championships are held in Virginia Beach every year. I lived in Virginia Beach for a long time, and I'm not a surfer. I don't know why I'm saying it. It just seemed to me the surfing's better on the West Coast than it is the East Coast. But the waves are, the waves are waves. I like it better at school because maybe I'm an old fogey. I did turn 50, which is badass. From there, in and out, I like the sandy beaches better on the West Coast Gulf of America. So we did that for a while. Did an excursion. You probably saw it. I hope you saw it. We went up to the White House. President Trump signed an executive order to get IBOGAINE. We're going to be able to. I don't like saying test it. We're going to be able to use it here in the United States. They're going to get a few subjects to do it, and I'd imagine to be military because we're kind of gearing that way. Hopefully it gets into the VA because IBOGAINE is a healer. It is not a psychedelic. The word psychedelic is getting thrown around a lot. I was talking with Morgan Luttrell, Congressman Luttrell, before I walked with he and Marcus over to the White House from our hotel, and we were talking about it the way. And it is important to realize it's not a psychedelic, but also when you're dealing with Washington, D.C., if you can get the early verbiage out of their mouths, because they're not smart, and I mean the politicians. And if you say psychedelics, well, first of all, you tell them what the buzzword is, and then you tell them where they stand. And these are congressmen, because they don't know where they stand. They're told where to stand. But the buzzword is psychedelics. We couldn't get them to stop, so I don't know. Is it worth the fight to get them to? It's a plant-based medicine, Ibogaine is. DMT, 5-MeO DMT is a psychedelic, and it's different. Still not one I would take, because club drug you're going to hear, here's what they do. Not here's what they do like in the long haul, like setting up public schools for you to go to so you're simply just a consumer and don't think outside the head, even though not a single president has ever sent one of their children to public school. The dude who invented public school, what's his name, Horace something, homeschooled his kids, little workers. But they'll teach you little buzzwords, what you're supposed to say and what you're supposed to get really, really mad about. And that's that. Climate change went away. Well, that's pretty great. We solved that. Or do people just realize how fucking stupid it is? I don't know. But it's costly. It sure is. Those windmill cars, the windmill-powered cars. And even when a guy does invent good EV, electric vehicles, you shit on him because he's efficient. Elon Musk goes in there, try to shut down some fraud. Democrats are all over him. They just gerrymandered the shit out of Virginia, too. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's cheating. That's the part of that segment. They're splitting basically in a representative type government that we have, a constitutional republic where you elect a representative to go there and represent you instead of doing a line by line vote, which is a true democracy, which we are not. You send someone there and then they do the bidding of Nancy Pelosi if they're Democrats. She's still in charge too. Did you see what happened to Eric Swalwell? He's bad. He's getting some heat. He's out. He resigned. He was going to run for governor of. I'll just give you a little background on how DC works. They had dirt on him, meaning his party. If when people say he'll get primaried, I'm not sure if you know what that means. Yeah, it means you're going to get primaried in your own election. If you're a sitting congressman, you have to run for re-election every fucking day. It's a 2-year term. We'll get into that later, but you have to go back to your districts and talk to them and get reelected. That's all you're going to do is try to get reelected. But you have to do what the party leadership says because there's two parties. There's Democrats and Republicans. There's independents, sort of, but they're not independents. Bernie Sanders is a raging Democrat, but he says independent, and I'm an independent, so whatever. Me and Bernie, we go out there and have coffee and talk about how we can fuck up the whole world with our but combined 5 houses. He has 4 of them. He's a socialist, so he has 4 houses to keep all his socialites, is what that means. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about just now. Yeah, but they go in there and they vote and they complain. But the way it should work is you're represented your districts because you have common interests. That's the same way there's an electoral college. I don't think many people in Topeka, Kansas share the views of people at in Midtown New York right now, or God forbid Portland. So but anyway, you have districts in different places, and you get a certain number of congressmen based on your population. But it's usually just boop, boop, boop. Here, the northwest corner of Montana thinks opposite than the southeast corner of Montana. But now they draw these lines for districts, and it's cheating the shit out of you, man. And Republicans do it too. They don't do it nearly as bad. I don't care. I'm not a Republican either. They're bigger pussies than Democrats, by far. Democrats are whinier, but they own the media, so they get away with a lot of bullshit. I don't want to get into all that, what they do, what he said, what they do, what they do. But that's what they do. So they just cheated, and they're going to win. I think they're going to flip 4 seats. I mean, this is important because they don't play the local politics. They will in order to cheat in elections. Because you bring it down to the person. Bring it down to the person doing it at the personal level, and then go look at places that. And either way, Democrats cheat a lot worse at the polls. But look at who's running the polling stations, or look at who's running whatever government place you go, and that establishment is going to sway to their side. And in the case of voting, it's Democrats, big time. And I mean that's why they don't want voter ID. It's up to 85% of Americans want voter ID at the poll. 85% of Americans can't agree that the sun is warm. They can't agree they want voter ID. Who doesn't want it? Democrats. Why? Because they cheat. That's it. That's simply it. Democrats don't want you to show ID when you vote because they want illegals to vote. That's what the Democrats do. That's their base, man. They are defending the shit out of illegals. They are defending the shit out of any illegal who murders or rapes or hurts an American. And guess what? Here's the good news, Democrats. Once again, talking to Butte, Montana. It's coming to you. It's coming to you, and unfortunately, you don't listen to people like me who have been around the world and have seen stuff and know that cultures are different in different places, know that people don't share the same interests, and know that people, if they grew up without fucking clothes and get a chance to come here and steal from us, they will. If they get a chance to come here and murder us, they will. It's different around the world. America, you've been protected by the Pacific and the Atlantic. I don't know why you don't see this, but you still vote for people with purple fucking hair who steal your money. Don't get it. Don't get it, Montana. All I said a while back was you do not share the values of these psychopath, leftist, demonic Democrats in D.C. You just don't. You just like the D-Democrat because your parents in the 50s told you that you can eat your pasty and wash your hands because we're a union. That's awesome. Now, bringing in illegals from Haiti who will beat you with a club and not get any time, will murder people, not get it. And I'm not just singling out Haiti, even though they get a shit ton of Clinton money and nothing's changed except a lot of people disappear. Anyway, gerrymander, they stole it. I don't want to talk about politics. It pisses me off, but there you go. That's what happened. And again, doesn't really matter what's happening. They're going to skew it one way, and that's just how we live. And I'm going to, everything I tell you is skewed towards the way I think things should go and benefit me, but I am right. So that's the difference. But that's fun. But while down there, this is interesting because while I was down in Florida, I got a call on a Thursday from Marcus Luttrell saying that you need to get to D.C. so that we can get an executive order for IBOGAINE. And I wasn't really even sure what exactly was happening. This moved really, really quickly. Joe Rogan got involved. Donald Trump got involved. Rogan actually texted Donald Trump. And then Robert RFKJ was there. He was cool as shit. He was involved with that. Dr. Oz was there. He struck me as the one who wasn't quite as confident. He wanted to push it through, but he also struck me as the smartest guy there. So that could be the way that smart guys think. And then we had Marcus and Morgan Luttrell, myself. Marcus Capone was up there too. He runs Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions. Amber Capone was there. She was not behind the president, but she was in the audience. And she got to hang out with the... President Trump calls them the animals. Here come the animals. That's the press. You should hear them come around the corner. They act like they act. Like if you've ever seen the press pool before in the White House, screaming, yelling, stinky, believe it or not. Breathy. Breathy and throaty is the way I would describe them. They're very breathy. I don't know if it's that extreme liberals don't use toothpaste. I know a lot of people are getting away from everything that you should be using because it's bad and all that stuff because of the conspiracies. But it's almost like they definitely don't, but I'm going to say they do have one of those things where they put the greyhounds in the dog races and it's a little kennel, kind of like when Frank was playing Charlie Mick, whatever, on Always Sunny, and they had to put him in the dog kennel to be a good boy. It's almost like they put him in a kennel and they open it and then all the reporters come flying around the corner screaming because that's what reporters do. Because they're really good people, the press in D.C., that don't think there's any other part of the United States. There's the Acela train that goes from New York to D.C., and then you can fly to L.A. That's the United States, and everything to include Idaho is a flyover state. Idaho and Wyoming are the Midwest to them. So is Montana. It's pretty funny. But, so down there anyway, the press was there, Amber was out there, and it was just really cool that we were able to talk about IBOGAINE, the importance for IBOGAINE, not just for veterans, but for anybody who's had any kind of mental health issues, which you all have, which we have, which I do on a daily basis. But IBOGAINE helps everything because it gets into your brain and it opens it. We do get heat from a lot of different places, and it's generally because people don't understand. Evangelical Christians will tell me that it summons demons. It does not summon demons. It opens your mind, and it might show you stuff that scares you. I cannot confirm that they're demons that you see. I do see demons when I take IBOGAINE, and I'm aware of them. At first, I didn't know what it was. The second time, I was ready. The third time, I had names and questions to ask them. They're there, but it opens your minds about other stuff. It always cracks me up that evangelicals can say that we're summoning demons while they send money and listen to someone preaching the word of God and spending your money on their fucking Ferraris. I don't even need to try to talk you into that because you know it happens, and you know the morons that listen to him, and they scream and yell, and they go to church with the big band, and they send all their money to him, and he flies off on a private jet. See, that to me is a little bit, because see, what I think, and you got to bear with me, some people aren't religious, some people certainly aren't Catholic, some people are not faithful at all, some people are straight up agnostic or atheist. I was actually agnostic, I thought, in the military. That's weird going to war. I I wasn't right with God when I was going to war. I was more agnostic, like I'm willing to believe, but I need to see proof. I'm not. And that's kind of weird in combat to do that. Obviously, I'm Catholic now, but it's not bringing the demons in, but I think there's evil around you too, and the evangelical Christians don't like that, but they do like their because let's just back off and say you do believe in God. I'm assuming listeners to the podcast, most of them believe in God. Most of them believe in Jesus and he was on earth and that stuff too. So if you believe in God, and ask yourself, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. You can call what I'm about to say ridiculous. If you do believe in God, do you believe in demons? Do you believe in the devil, Lucifer, Beelzebub, the evil trinity, the stuff that a lot of our politicians will worship on certain islands and certain parts of the Middle East? But I mean, if you do believe in demons, why is it unrealistic for them to be fallen angels who are still here? If I was a demon, I would, if I was a demon, because of the way that I believe, and again, I believe because I haven't been sat down and talked to, but I see shit and I think shit, and I think I'm a pretty smart dude. You should be too. I think it's there. I think Jesus told us in the Gospels, in parables, which are awesome too, by the way. I'm reading the Bible again, and I'm not, hey, look, man, I'm not throwing this at you. I'm not trying to convert you. I'm telling you what I think and what I enjoy. I enjoy reading the Bible. There's some really good stories. I think Jesus had a sense of humor too. That man did not want to get crucified, but he had to fulfill the prophecies. I'm not going to get all religious. And another reason is even though I went to Catholic school, I'm pretty new to this. They don't teach you shit in Catholic school, by the way. Like anything else. Hey, did you pay your tuition? Did you put money in the thing when it came around? Make sure the money's in. They follow the money. I'm reading the Bible now, which is weird. I didn't know what the Bible was. Again, the middle, like Acts, and I'm reading the Apostles, and I'm going into different stuff. I got my Nigerian Bible somewhere back here. Just to read story. You can literally pick it up and read it. If you start with Genesis or Exodus, you're going to get a lot of lineage, a lot of family tree. But why is it, a lot of it says that demons are fallen angels, right? Lucifer. I mean, even that was a TV show. Pretty good TV, really good TV show. Be careful, though, because they're charming. But what I was led to believe is that demons are not, they don't learn as they go. They're injected with, or were injected with the truth. And then it's up to them whether or not they lie to you, which is what the demons do. Heard a really cool story from an exorcist about talking to a demon about the Virgin Mary and her greatest achievement and her greatest triumph. Two different things, but a demon corrected an exorcist, letting him know why Mary ascended bodily into heaven. A demon said that. So some of you Evan, listen up. Good shit right there. But wouldn't it be possible if demons were of earth and men, wouldn't it be possible they take human shape and then start talking about the Bible because they know so much about it? Because they do know everything about it. And they do know men are stupid. Shit, I know men are stupid. I don't think I'm a demon or an angel or a prophet. I see people, and I bet I could talk them into shit. And if I knew everything, I could start a power church. I could get jets. I could get people to follow me. I could get famous and be beautiful. That winning smile for Jesus. But I'm a demon. Am I talking out of school here? It's not possible for a demon to talk to you and take all your fucking money and fly in jets and you watch it and he mocks you? So me going to the White House to try to get IBOGAINE so people don't put a shotgun in their mouth summons demons, but demons talking to you about God is not? The mega church? Yeah, man, I was just reading the Gospel of Luke and talking about Jesus at the mega church. It didn't happen. It doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Why is your money going to God? You're good. Money means nothing. You don't need money to get to see Jesus. Actually, probably the opposite. But yeah, so I'm just saying, why are psychedelics bad and you don't believe in demons? Why is it you can go to church and then yell at people at the whatever restaurant you go to in your Sunday best, acting completely ungodly, I might add, after church? So do you really believe in it? Or is it just you go to church so you can talk with your friends as you lunch with champagne every day of the week and then go back to church on Sunday? And Southern hospitality, you're way into being an asshole, because that's what Southern hospitality is. It's a very nice way to be not to be a cunt, but to act like one. So I just don't know why it's not, why is it unrealistic to think they haven't infiltrated there? There's been evil everywhere. You've seen it. And then the further you go down the rabbit hole of science, of what's actually happening, and you start to, like the rabbit holes you go down at night when you should be sleeping like a good little operator, but you're not. What is real? That'd be pretty creepy if I actually could confirm a demon was preaching in an evangelical church. I would go as much as I could. I want to talk to him. I seriously do. I think I'd like to hear it. Not to, I do want to bring one of the exorcists I know with me, but that's that. Anyway, they yelled at us, and then people say club drug. 5-MeO DMT, if taken properly, is not a club drug. And I've heard of people. I've been offered a DMT pen, and just with my experience with pure 5-MeO, I don't want to take it in the club. Well, I don't go clubbing. I was provided an opportunity to maybe get one. I wouldn't be into that. I don't think anyway. I like cannabis. I don't think DMT is it doesn't relax me. It's just like, I'm going to go to sleep and then take a puff of DMT. I'm like, oh, hello, Satan. Welcome to my bed. Not that DMT does that. DMT is intense. DMT is fast. DMT is the God molecule, and DMT will it zaps you right away, and you are the way DMT works. Because the way we do it in Mexico when we go with Ambio is you get there, have a brilliant gourmet as shit Mexican meal, then you go to a sweat lodge. It gets up to 200 degrees there inside this TP shaped pizza oven. You and your homies get in there and sweat your nuts off while some dude from the movie Apocalypto is screaming like he just pulled one of our hearts out and ate it, which wouldn't have surprised me if he did. Then you go back and eat and hydrate, get some IVs, and you do Ibogaine overnight, and then you do. So I'm spitballing. The Ibogaine, I think, works for about 50 hours for me. My peak's about 10 hours where you really get into it, and then you recover, and then you do a Reiki massage on I want to say Thursday, and then you do DMT, and then you kind of chill out, sleep, go back. But DMT is, it's scary for me because it hits you, there's stratosphere, and then you're in it. Whatever it is, the Zen moment. But the stratosphere they talk about, for me, is scary. That's when you have to trust it. And that's why you don't do it at a club. That's why you have medical personnel administer it. And for the bigger guys, I would recommend brown belt in jiu-jitsu or above. Administer, because you can react to it, because you go see judgment basically, or what your version of what you think judgment is. And and the hard part, the stratosphere part for me is the thinking I died and missing my kids. But once you get into it, it's just a feeling of, okay, everything's fine. I don't want to explain the psychedelic part of it, but that's when everything is okay. Missing your kids ends because they're there. You should see if you can do it, and don't do it in your buddy's garage because he says he has it. If we get it all legalized, I recommend trying it. The big push is coming from the same place, man. It's coming from Big Pharma. They don't want this shit. It cures. Big Pharma wants you to get on pills the day you're born and stay on pills until they kill you. Things like Ibogaine and 5-MeO DMT will cure you and make you think outside. And again, it does open your mind, because you will look around and you will get a 30,000 foot view, and you will see how ridiculous some of this shit that people are willing to die for are. I'm not trying to get on here and preach. I don't know enough about the Bible to tell you what to do. I don't know enough, after even about 12 years of Catholic school, I don't know enough to tell you about Catholicism. Ask me right now the difference between Catholic and Anglican and Lutheran. I know Martin Luther not well. Need to study him because he went away from the church. Because man got involved. That excuse gets used a lot too, which is justifiable. I've heard Muslims say that Jesus was a prophet and he brought the word, but then man corrupted it, so they had to send Muhammad down and give the true word of God. I guess we didn't get Mary, an 8-year-old in heaven's a brothel right with Jesus, so they brought that. Didn't make that up. Aisha was 8, married a dude, consummated at 10. Didn't make that up. I guess Jesus didn't tell you that part, so that's got to be we forgot that. That's a true word of God, so that's what the Muslims say. And hey, we're all nuts. You believe what you believe, man. Is it going to be crazy? Is it? I'm not telling you. What I've told you is just what is in books, in the Quran, in what I've read of the Bible. And I do plan on reading the Quran too. The thing with that is that it's going to be, it has to be the English version. I don't speak Arabic. And I'm being as respectful as I can for you people. And by you people, I mean the listeners. You need to read it in Arabic to get the full Monty, and it's the fastest growing religion on earth. And it's a warrior's religion. I don't think Jesus said to convert or kill, and Muhammad lives by the sword. you can do your own research. I'll deep dive into it later. I want to talk about ibogaine, not religions. I think religions are man is definitely where we screw everything up. I'm talking to all of you. But we went down there to get this because it needs to be administered by medical personnel. I would hate to see back alley ibogaine. Remember that back alley abortion epidemic, that one? That happens all the time. My God, we've got to get these women proper care so we can murder the shit out of their babies. These back alley abortions are out of control. They're everywhere. Or they're just not happening. But how else can we kill the babies? Okay, but it's good for I don't want to see the back alley crap. I'd like to see it administered medically, and you're not going to enjoy ibogaine, but I recommend it for everyone because you've had trauma in your life, and this just what it does is that if you've suppressed it, it will just open it. It will let you deal with it, and it is visual. Some people don't. There was a woman there that did ibogaine all night and said nothing happened. She just slept, but she was a heroin addict. She didn't want heroin ever again and never had it again. It makes you stop, and then it just convinces you it's not the right thing to do. And even for my religious listeners, every veteran that I know, because I mentioned earlier I was agnostic, some were atheists. Every single guy I know found Jesus after doing ibogaine. And I mean, they said it's demonic and invites demons. If demons are telling you that you should find Jesus, is that really a demon or is that an angel? I don't know. I'm just saying I did it thrice. I'm doing it one more time at least. And I think ibogaine is going to be a part of my life. But it was cool to get down there. So I was on the phone with Marcus. He said you should come. And then it's an arm wrestling match with the gates there. You need to obviously fill out paperwork to get in to see the president. It needs to be right every single time. And I would recommend, I had some friends there that had issues. I would recommend making sure it's legit, finding a liaison for yourself at the White House, making sure the paperwork was filled out correctly. We had issues with people's chiefs of staff or even spouses filling out the paperwork, hitting auto, like your date, your password, whatever. Some people got their wife's birthdays in there. Bad. If you're going to see the president in the Oval Office, it honestly, unless you're Eric Trump or one of the family, you're not getting in. You need it to be right. So some guys didn't get in. That sucks. Mine was right. I actually was sitting in Florida on vacation, and I was told there was something with the names on the list because there's an official list and there's a list that we submitted. And I actually had my phone out with my app for American Airlines, and I hit cancel and the whole, are you sure? And I was doing that, and the White House called and said, you're going. I'm like, okay. Didn't even cancel my flight. Don't think I'm crazy, but ibogaine is residual, and sometimes things that should happen do happen. And I think that might have been one of them. Or I'm just a lucky motherfucker. Because I have been telling people lately with my life just sucks until it's amazing. Like bad luck, bad luck, bad luck, crazy amazing luck, bad luck, bad luck, bad luck. That's kind of how it works. But got that call, went up, and it was awesome. So we went in there, and I've been to the West Wing a whole bunch of times. I know how that shit works. I know where to steal the M&Ms, and I do know where some of the presidential coins are kept. So we went into a side room in the West Wing. RFK Jr. was there, and then we saw Dr. Oz, and then Caroline Leavitt came in and told us what to expect. She's fantastic. It is, what's cool is behind the scenes to watch, Caroline is on all day long, and she deals with the press who are just awful people. Because the press is awful as it is. But then if you get to the press pool, like you made it, so of all the assholes, like you're king asshole. And you can use that, which they do, at the cafes and the shit and the drinks and the cocktails. DC's a funny place. But you are the big dick in the locker room if you're in the press pool. But she's funny because she'll say stuff and say, and here's what they said. Because it's so, people are hypnotized with television. If you see it in person, that's ridiculous. That is, it's one thing to be political because you do exactly what you're told. A lot of you, Butte, Montana, a lot of you do exactly what you're told. However, if you went, to the YMCA and you're a woman with your 3 daughters and a dude with a dick walks in, you're going to say, what the fuck? However, if you're on Twitter, he identified as a woman. Yeah, put the dick in your kid's face. Does he still identify as a woman? That's a... No. Anyway, it's fun to watch people who deal with that madness. And it's a lot of it's a show. But she said, here's what's going to happen. We're going to do this and get behind the president and stand there. And I went up there. I didn't even have a suit. But I did live in D.C. for many years after the Navy, and I knew a couple guys. I found a tailor. We went up and we just made a suit. And I shouldn't tell you my trick. I know a dude who sells some very shiny stuff that For one appearance on national television, it looks good. Don't wear it around people who normally wear it, though, because it might be fake. But it looks good on TV. I didn't say what it was. Don't worry about it. But yeah, we got in there, and then Brian Hubbard was there, who is, I think he's the best voice. I'm going to get him on the podcast very soon. We're scheduling him right now. He's the best voice out there for IBOGAINE. He's got the passion, the love. He's seen it, good and bad, and basically we need it. Oh, by the way, if anything triggered you about what I've said about Democrats, Republicans, politicians, DC, the press, the Acela, anything like that, the good news is that IBOGAINE will cure you. So get off your lazy ass and try it. You'll be just fine. But standing behind him, everything's good. He's going to sign an executive order, which means it's not a bill. It's signed into law. It's an executive order. We're going to get started. And even Marcus Capone was behind me, and he said, I can't, this is surreal. Can you believe we're here? Because Marcus and Amber Capone have been working on this. Vets has been working on this 10 years. It's a dream to get an executive order signed. And a lot of the people that were there helped make it happen. And it was just cool to see. There was a moment where President Trump was about to sign it. And one of the doctors doing his doctorly shit said, because like President Trump said something to say whatever. And Caroline was awesome too, because she said, you're going to be on live television with Donald Trump. If you're not comfortable talking on live television, you might not want to stand back there because he could just call on you. There's not really a script. But we did hear President Trump say IBOGAINE for the first time. He actually asked, is that how am I saying it right? And that's cool. We got the president say IBOGAINE. It means it's out there. And IBOGAINE is your friend, so look it up. But as we're getting ready to sign, one of the doctors just started to do doctor stuff and question and say, yeah, this will allow for the research. This will do blah, blah, blah. And I was behind on the other end. I had to interrupt him. And I don't know if that's a residual IBOGAINE, but sometimes the energy, the medicine will lead you in the right direction. I had to interrupt him and say, it works. It works, Mr. President. And he turned around and looked at me, and I explained to him how IBOGAINE was a catalyst for making me personally quit drinking alcohol. It did a lot of stuff with my anger, a lot of stuff with the badness. And then I said I did it 3 times. I believe my quote was, it saved my life, and then it saved my wife. Meaning, because I was saved from alcohol because of IBOGAINE and the PTSD, my wife stayed with me, which is awesome for me because I get to keep her. And then he said something along the lines of, okay, if you didn't have it, what? And I'm not going to stand there in front of the president and say, well, I was going to start an AR or a shotgun to do it right. I just wanted to tell another story. So I mentioned a 28-year Green Beret Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major, which is if you're in anything, you know that a 28-year Green Beret is a bad motherfucker. He said, and that's why I mentioned Amber Capone, he told me in Mexico, call Amber Capone and tell her she saved my life because next week I was going to kill myself. This is the last try. He tried everything. He tried the pills from the VA. He tried the booze. He tried the quitting booze. He came here. He tried IBOGAINE. He did not kill himself. It works. So I had to tell the president that because the medicine needs to be out there. So he signed it, and it's awesome. And just the thing with IBOGAINE is I would recommend, obviously get it medically administered. I would recommend doing it with a friend, with a family member, if you can. And then just, make sure you are in a safe place and that you're in a safe place. And then just be grateful, be thankful, because the medicine is helping your mind open to show you stuff that you haven't seen in a while or haven't acknowledged. And you acknowledge it, and it can help you get rid of it. So it's awesome. It's great to be there. I'm sure I'm forgetting something because it's always the nuances that happen that I don't think of. But I went up to President Trump afterwards, and I wanted to show him my tattoo. I got a tattoo of my first sober day on my drinking hand. So every time I grab anything, I actually went to a bar next to a tattoo shop to see which hand I use first. So that's my tattoo. I want to show it to him, and he said, yeah, that's great. You look good. I told him I'm aware of your family's relationship with alcohol, and I want to let you know this. He said, you look great. And I already had one of his coins, and I said, I'll show it to you next time. It's downstairs. I didn't bring it up. I'm not going to get it. But it's cool because he did it Trump style. He did it bigger than normal coins. So I have one from President Obama, and I have one from President Biden. When he was the vice president, they gave us coins after the bin Laden raid. And then I have one from Donald Trump. And it's bigger, it's golder, and it says 4647. Oh, sorry, 4547. And I had one, but I asked him if I could, there was a stack of them there, and I go, can I, I left my wife, and she's sort of at a work conference. I want to get one for her boss. I think it'd be kind of dope. And he said, yeah, grab another one. And it was just cool for me as a fan of the White House, a fan of The Simpsons, a fan of Trump on The Simpsons as the president, when Lisa predicted President Trump a long time ago. It was so awesome to have him give me his blessing to look over put my hand on the top, look the president in the eye, go, thanks, Mr. President, yoink. So I got to yoink the president. I got to interrupt the president in the White House and yoink. And that was awesome. Great to see him. Donald Trump has a big heart. He really does. The media spun the shit out of him. Look at stuff that Donald Trump did before the animals started yelling at him and before the media convinced him you hate him, even though you have no idea why you hate him. Of course, I'm sorry. You know why you hate him. He's racist and locker room talking. Grab him. Okay. Mm-hmm. I know the Iran oil thing. You'll be singing a different tune when the oil goes. That's all that matters. Oil prices go down. Stuff go down. You be happy. Watch. It's going to happen. The Iran thing is, have you noticed that he didn't give him a timeline now? And again, I'm recording this now. I am flying again. I'm going to Ireland today for a night. Travel's good. But yeah, he didn't give an ultimatum or a deadline on this one. Because why is that? Well, here's why. Iran is decimated right now. The leadership is gone. They're not sitting in a room discussing whether or not to agree to the terms. They don't know where they are. And I might have a meeting set up for coffee at 9:30. He might be dead by 9:27. We have destroyed them and their infrastructure. We're not hitting the place completely because they're dealing with the locals now. And the locals are going around now with knives. They're trying to stop the execution. I hope they did. I don't know at this moment. But the locals are rising up. A soft coup is happening. Not as soft as I anticipated about a year and a half ago, but it's happening. The locals are restless. They want to be rid of this shit. Look at Iran now. It's been 47 and a half years, $500 billion and gone because we destroyed them. Their navy is in the next time Iran builds a new navy, they should put glass bottoms on the ship so they can see the old navy. And their army's meaningless. I don't give a shit. The army that couldn't beat Iraq, and I think we beat Iraq by lunch, couldn't beat him in almost 10 years and had a sue. The first Ayatollah Khomeini had a sue for freedom, and they didn't gain it. They couldn't beat Iraq. Yet your friends at the media and the Democrats convinced us all that Iran was unbeatable. You don't go in there. You cannot touch them. There's a million. We wiped them out. Didn't put barely any boots on the ground. I mean, we're tougher than we think. Anyway, they're gonna see how that goes. It's gonna work. We can do a lot more. You're gonna be happy this summer. It's gonna be best to just not listen to all the hullabaloo that's going on. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this, but we'll maintain. All right, fellas, you know what time it is. It's springtime. Getting outside, getting to the events, getting to wherever it is where you're going to chase what you know what you're going to go out there and do. I got to tell you about Blue Chew Gold. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. You know what I'm saying? This isn't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is a 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking about 2 ingredients for blood flow here that keep the rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection from your brain to your body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue, and it works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation might be my new favorite saying. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. Next time she says you up, send her a picture of Blue Chew, and that means you up. Blue Chew's turning bedroom performance into an Olympic sport still. You can still go for the gold, even though it's summertime right now. Ladies, if you're listening, send your man the link and make him a trophy husband with Blue Chew Gold. Forget about Netflix and chill. This is Netflix and Phil. If your bed could talk after this, it would be asking you for a break, you big stud. Full ignition in 15 minutes or less. So you can make life a little easier by getting harder and discover your options at bluechew.com, BLUECHEW.com. And we've got a special deal for the listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code The Operator. One word, promo code The Operator. So visit bluechew.com for get more details and important safety information. And we do thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the show. I'm going to tell you about Mando right now because I've been telling you about Mando since inception of the show. And spring is here. Summer's actually coming. The weather's going to get warmer. What are you going to do? I was just in Florida where it gets hot. I golfed a few times. I like to get outside. I didn't say I like to get out and golf. But I do wear Mando when I go outside, so I'm not worried about it because this is not your typical deodorant. It is clinical strength and is 2 times better at controlling sweat than the standard. And it controls both sweat and odor for up to 72 hours. That's good. That's like 3 days of you not stinking, which you probably are doing right now if you're not using Mando. And after just 10 hours, underarm sweat was reduced by 92%. I'm just saying this stuff works. Deodorant re-engineered to stop odor before it starts. It doesn't just mask odor, it prevents it. And 100% of study participants experienced all-day odor protection. Some men mask their BO with scents. You can just stop spraying crap on yourself. Mando gets the job done, and it gets the job done right. Don't just mask it, Mando it. Head over to shopmando.com. 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 Mando gets the job done right. And if you go over to the website for a limited time, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. That code is The Operator, one word, at shopmando.com for 20% off. SHOPMANDO.com. And tell them The Operator sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to being stanky. Say goodbye to being a fobbit. Get out there and enjoy the spring/summer. Shopmando.com, code The Operator, one word. As much fun as it is talking about the war in Iran and nuclear weapons and standoff weapons, direct energy, stealth, all that good stuff, I'm just not going to anymore. We're going to see what happens. I'm very interested in the timeline that is not there. It could change it, like I said, any second, but I'm going to be in airports, so I'm going to keep you posted on the airports, where I go and what I do, because I'm not a professional comment leaver I give 5 stars to all my Uber drivers. You got to fuck up to get 4 stars from me, by the way, because I just think I do chalk it up to you might just be having a bad day, or the fact that you deal with customers every single day. Customers suck and people suck and all that stuff. So I don't give reviews, but I do travel a lot and show you some hotels. I'll show you if you're interested in that, because like it's hotels are every day to me. I'm to the point where unless it's vacation, I don't need a view. And by view, I mean like on vacation, I would like my door to open to the pool or to the ocean, period. I will probably complain if there's steps to get down to the beach. I need to be on the beach. I do love Mother Ocean. Very, very healing. And as far as views, I don't need a view. I lived in Manhattan for a long time with a view. I like a king bed. I'll settle for 2 queens. It is funny though, because I used to be able to sleep in swamps. I'm not going to do that shit anymore, but that's that. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you how it goes. Everything from TSA to customs. The first time I went to Ireland, the first time on these trips to Ireland where I go stay a night, I'd get attitude from their version of customs. Customs, I guess. I don't know why I said that. Do you travel much? No. Yeah, but well, not to Ireland. It's like I travel a lot in the States. I don't come to Europe because you guys have ruined it. But I go to Ireland now because they're making a comeback. Oh man, they're making a comeback. I wonder if anything's going to go down while I'm there. We'll see. But it is fun to fly. And so if you want me to keep posting videos of hotels and meals and shit, I will, because it's always fun to get into a room and see what it is. I like a bed. I could face a brick wall and have a chalk outline of the blind guy with his dog next to him. I don't really care, but that was it. Also, I'm not talking much about. I don't think about it, but there's I am in a lawsuit with another podcast that had a friend of mine on there from the Bin Laden raid too. I don't know if you saw it. His name is Alex West. Alex West Coast on Instagram. Definitely follow him. Solid guy. It's the first time I've mentioned his name out loud. Not ever. He was my roommate at D16 in Afghanistan for a long, long time. And he was on every mission I was on. Every mission I was on, he was on. Pretty cool. Actually, boy, they'll get a lot of views too. Alex is a great dude. His name is out. I'm excited to see how comfortable he is with it. I personally hope more guys from especially the Bin Laden raid do tell their part of the story. I do want that. It's been 15 years, May 1st, May 2nd, right? 15 years. I'd like to hear other guys' stories on it. I know we've heard a couple, and there are 23 different stories on there, not even including the pilots. Man, to get a pilot on here would be sick. I would love to do that. Just hear different versions of different stories, of all the stories, because it'd be good. And I know that there's hullabaloo about the Bin Laden raid. I hope it comes out. I've told my story, everything that I've done. I know other stuff that happened. That's up to the guys to say what happened. But it would be good for me. I'm not subpoenaing it. Well, I wasn't. It's going to be simple for me because I can actually look at the guys face to face and say, okay, when I killed bin Laden, where exactly were you physically? Because I know pretty much who was behind me. Pretty much. I know who was in front of me. I know pretty much who was behind me, and I know who went in the house and who didn't go in the house. I know a lot of shit. Not just about this raid. I know a lot of shit. It's, they always say where I know where the bodies were buried. I was everywhere where bodies were buried. Oh, it's fun. But yeah, I can just ask guys, cool, where were you exactly when I shot bin Laden when he was standing up, and they could tell me. Personally, if I was hosting a podcast and the only thing I had was bashing Rob O'Neill and the bin Laden raid, and I had a guy who was probably number 4 in the room, maybe 5 at most, I would have just asked him, hey, did O'Neill kill bin Laden? But he didn't, because I guess he knows for sure without a doubt. Had a guy there, didn't ask him. I guess he's waiting on all the other guys he has. But I would have asked. He didn't. I want to go to court just to reiterate it. I really hope. He's dying to get it dismissed. If you talk to the guy, you know who I'm talking about. Implore him, message him or something. Do not dismiss this case. Robert O'Neill really wants to go to trial. Do not dismiss this case. Let's do this. All right. Having said that, I was looking through this stuff too. This is cool because I've been reading Bibles, and I'm not trying to convert anyone at all. I'm not trying to, and I'm not smart enough to convert you. I just like to, when I mention ibogaines and psychedelics, it does open your mind. It's not telling you what to do. It opens your mind because you should always verify everything. And I would get more sources. Just because you have 2 sources doesn't mean they're not in cahoots. Get multiple sources. Different. I hate the word multiple too. Military guys use that all the time. If ever they say, yeah, I did multiple deployments. He did 2. Multiple is 2. So get several different sources. I have 3 sources right here because I'm getting into it. I got the King James version of the Holy Bible. I've got the Catholic version of the Holy Bible and the Ethiopian version just right here. Again, they're translated. Everything's translated. Keep that in mind when you're reading anything. Unless you can read Arabic, you're not getting the full version of the Quran. Unless you can read Hebrew, you're not getting the Torah or whatever other versions, because I do have the internet too, whatever stuff that Israel's doing as they try to take over the entire world. I'm just saying, according to my feed, my algorithm, that's the and then I got King James Holy Bible, whatever. But it's translated by man. You get King James in there. Like the Catholic Church didn't start taking money for 5 centuries. And now they do. And now they have a huge place called the Vatican. St. Peter was the first pope. All that. Great story about St. Peter I have too. I've been learning a lot about the Bible, not getting into that. I want to get into this though, because I'm saying that man gets involved in stuff, and you need to be wary when man gets involved, because I'm reading the Gospels right now, rereading because they're good stories, but I do dip into Revelation because you can hop around. It's not all boring. I think they like I said, Genesis, Exodus, interesting, but you need a minute and probably a good cigar. But Revelation, man, you want to start with something crazy. These are visions and dreams and shit, mostly from John, I believe. But the one I'm looking at right here, just bear with me, is Revelation 13:18, a couple of different books. And this right here is going to be in the Catholic version. Revelation 13:18 says, "Wisdom is needed here. One who understands can calculate the number of the beast, for it is a number that stands for a person. His number is 666. That is in the Catholic version. This is going to be the King James version, 13:18. It says in the King James version, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. And the latest version of my Bible collections is going to be the Ethiopian version, because people start taking shit out of Bibles. And Ethiopia, weird one. Christianity was in Africa before it was in Europe. Iraq was a Christian country, as was Egypt, as was Yemen. As was Syria, as was Lebanon. A lot of Christian countries there that got overrun by the religion of peace, man. Convert or the sword, but they're peaceful. But anyway, let's see, we're looking for 13:18. In the Nigerian Bible, it says, let's see, where is 18? Oh, I was on 14. Sorry about that. Here's 13:18. Here is wisdom. He who has understanding, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Now, they're saying that number again, and it's uncomfortable to say it, especially when you're alone in a studio and you don't know what time it is because I'm recording this. It's pretty obvious. But see, what you kept noticing is that it keeps calling for wisdom and not fear. It's the number. They say the number of man. They do say the number of the beast, but that was thrown in there, the number of man. That's telling you to call for wisdom. It's saying don't panic, don't fear. It's a call for wisdom. It's because if you think about it, and I saw this, I've been seeing this, and because I'm saying it, because you're hearing it, your algorithm will pop to someone. And this is a culmination of me doing research. I do listen to other stuff, I study other stuff, then I try to verify stuff. But this is a lot about carbon-12. Carbon-12 that pretty much makes up everything. It's the basis. Carbon-12 is the basis of all organic life. Every cell in your body is built on carbon-12. And what is carbon-12? It has 6 protons. It has 6 neutrons in the nucleus and then 6 electrons going around it. So the 6 protons, 6 neutrons, their orbit. It's the base of every cell in your body has this. And then so in Revelation that I just read to you, it calls for wisdom, though. And if you read it in the Greek version, and I mentioned before how the translated Greek, Latin, and all that stuff too, and if you say certain stuff, like I mentioned to one of my friends who's a priest, who's an exorcist, that I was learning the Hail Mary and the Rosary in Latin, and he was cautious that I say everything correctly. When you start speaking in those languages, you can summon things. And again, it's for you if you believe it. If you don't, more power to you. When you do wake up tomorrow morning, very important, tomorrow morning, not tomorrow night. When you do wake up, however, between 03 and 03:30, you tell me you don't believe in God. Stand up, go to somewhere dark in your house and tell me. That's cool with that. But everything's calling for wisdom, the number of man. And then there was this other thing too, something to do with the sun, because Father, Son, Mother, Ocean. There's a magic square of the sun that way before the Bible, a magic square of the sun, and it's got, guess what? Guess how many rows and columns? It's got 6 rows, 6 columns. And every column, every row, and the diagonal add up to 111. That's the number of the sun. And the total grid of the sun, light, life, creation, it all adds up to 666. So there's that. There's wisdom. There's the sun. This number describes human biology. And for some reason, they want you to be afraid of it. They're saying the number of the beast. It's actually the number of man. And this 666 is at that. This is the atomic level. And again, I'm not going to start getting the tattoo because we know what it stands for now, but that's because man told you it did, because it wants you to be afraid of the number. It wants you to be afraid of your origin at the atomic level. A digital root that brings it back, a number written into every carbon atom in your body. It's all right there in front of you. All the numbers add up. It's all inside of you. And then man turned it into something bad. So why? Because it's telling you to search for wisdom, which again is like a parable being spoken into it. Look into it. The atomic level, your cell is made up of this atomic number, and it's infallible. It's right there in everything. But man wants you to not look into it. Why is that? Who benefits from you not knowing what's inside of you? Doesn't the Catholic Church get really pissed off when you say, I don't need to necessarily go to church because God is inside of me? Because that's why a lot of books from the Bible were taken out of the Bible by men, because there's certain things that I don't know if you discuss. And I'm not trying to convert you, but maybe if you look at the, if you look at the smallest level in your being, it adds up to a certain number that the Bible hints at you studying for your own wisdom, but God, man doesn't want you to know that God is within you, because you need to go to his church, and when you go to his church, you give him money. With his money comes his power. Is that it? Is it maybe just because that number is inside you, and they don't want you to know that you can just pray at home too, and you'll be fine. If you start learning more about the parables and more about your life and more about your makeup, you're never out of the fight.